Good afternoon. We are here with you, really happy. I'm going to introduce you Federico, who will be the weaver together with me. So let's let Federico introduce himself and start with this. Federico.
Sí, hola a todos y a todas. Yo soy Federico.
Hello everyone, my name is Federico. I'm from the Sindicato Obrero del Campo de Andalucía and from the International Coordination of la Vía Campesina.
Okay, so we want to welcome everyone, family, friends, lovers of life. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done this, please, you can select the language that you prefer in the bottom that you have in your screens. So we have several languages. And please take a moment also to share this with your people, sending them the link or like tagging them on Facebook, okay? So please, once done this, let us know where are you connecting from, okay? Because we are expecting people from every single place in the world. So please let us know in the chat where you're connecting from. And we are really honored, both Federico and me, of being like the weavers of this festival of solidarity, resistance, and hope. And before we share more information about what to look forward to, we are pausing to start coming all together in solidarity, in love, and in joy.
Sí, yo quería, Berta, dar la...
I also wanted to welcome everyone from Andalusia, as I said before, which is a country which is culturally and historically linked between Europe, Africa, and America, and give the welcome as a peasant, as a syndical person, as an immigrant, as a father of three, and as you said, lover of justice and liberty. And we're gonna start this festival by remembering, uniting, and dreaming about building a better world based in love, solidarity, joy, and justice. So we want you all to please put the best of you to share and live together this creative moment of importance. Thank you very much and welcome to you all.
Ahora viene la música, ¿no?
Cue the music, right?
Esto es un poco espontáneo como la vida misma, ¿no?
So this is a bit spontaneous as life itself, so bear with us a minute. That's it. Bit by bit, we're going to be putting everything together.
And this is just the beginning of this wonderful afternoon or morning.
Ahora viene un vídeo.
So now we're going to have a video, really nice and interesting video. Please enjoy.
Cuando canta el gallo negro, es que ya se acaba el día. Si cantara el gallo rojo, otro gallo cantaría.
This is a popular song from the Spanish Civil War that speaks about freedom and resistance.
Ay, ay, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto. Se encontraron en la arena los dos gallos frente a frente. Se encontraron en la arena los dos gallos frente a frente. El gallo negro era grande, pero el rojo era valiente. El gallo negro era grande, pero el rojo era valiente. Ay, 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 si es que yo miento, que el cantar que yo canto lo borre el viento. Ay, 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 qué desencanto, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto. Se miraron cara a cara y atacó el negro el primero. Se miraron cara a cara y atacó el negro el primero. El gallo rojo es valiente, pero el negro es traicionero. El gallo rojo es valiente, pero el negro es traicionero. Ay, ay, que el cantar que yo canto lo borre el viento. Ay, 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 qué desencanto, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto. Gallo negro, gallo negro, gallo negro, te lo advierto. Gallo negro, gallo negro, gallo negro, te lo advierto. No se rinde el gallo rojo más que cuando está ya muerto. No se rinde el gallo rojo más que cuando está ya muerto. Ay, 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 si es que yo miento, que el cantar que yo canto lo borre el viento. Ay, 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 qué desencanto, si me borrara el viento lo que yo canto.
Dando secuencia, el bellísimo poema de nuestro
Continuing after the song,
This is
we will have
Now we're going to hear a beautiful poem by Gustavo Deutsch, a great militant international. So what are we waiting for? Why don't we say, put love in the center? Why, in the face of competition, do we defend cooperation when the correct word would be to defend love? Why do we speak of a multi-systemic crisis when it is truer to say that it is a crisis of love? Why do we appeal to anti-capitalism instead of defending, without further ado and without shame, love? The revolution of care or the revolution of love? Environmentalism, feminism, degrowth, common goods. Are they not synonyms of love? What are we waiting for? Have we thought about the spiritual well-being that would be generated by tearing down solar parks? In the peace, even euphoric, that we would feel by de-cementing airport runways? the love that would explode in every occupation of an open pit mine, the fullness we would feel covering all the capitalism with fertile land, and the intense emotions that would arise from carrying out all these sabotages collectively. If we sense it, if we know it, what are we waiting for? Thank you very much, dear Gustavo.
Arriba los pobres del mundo, de pie los esclavos sin paz. Y gritemos todos unidos, viva la internacional. Removamos todas las trabas que nos impiden nuestro bien. Cambiemos el mundo de base, hundiendo al imperio burgués. Agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se alcen los pueblos por la internacional. Agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se alcen los pueblos con valor por la internacional. El día que el triunfo alcancemos, ni esclavos ni hambrientos habrá. La tierra será el paraíso de toda la humanidad. Que la tierra dé todos sus frutos y la dicha es nuestro hogar. El trabajo, el sostén que a todos de la abundancia hará gozar. Agrupémonos todos en la lucha final y se alcen los pueblos por la internacional. Agrupémonos todos
Gracias a todos y a todas por este.
Thanks to everyone for this beautiful video and this song. Well, we raise our voice and our fists as fighters for life and love. Right now, it's important to remember that in this context we are going through, of so much uncertainty and confrontation and violence, where we naturalize hate and violence against people who are different and marginated. And we get used to people dying by the thousands in the frontiers every day just because they want to have a better life and circulate. And also a time where we are looking at as normal at fascism trying to get back power and big transnational companies doing whatever they want. So what we cannot do in this world is to allow ourselves to fall under this hate and violence without senseless. So I was, as the Che Guevara said, the real revolutionary is guided by great sentiments of love. And this is what we want to express here, this resistance attitude, and also the will to construct an alternative. So Berta, please, let's start with the first track, the one about remembering.
Thank you, Federico. That's it. Gracias, Federico. Festival, we want to celebrate love as an act of resistance and an act of creation. And we want to breathe love through our culture, our heritage, our indigenous languages, and all we do. And loving who we are and celebrating the things we are doing is our way to resist, is our resistance. And just as Federico said, we want to start by remembering. And in order to do that, we are going to light a candle. So we are asking those of you who have a candle in your hands at home or even with yourselves, I don't know, any symbolic object that you may use. So we are going to ask you to light them because we want to honor and remember all our comrades who have been retaliated or disappeared or murdered. So just take a moment to honor them and remember them.
Euskiak urtzen du goian, gailurretako elurra, uarkada jauzten ibarrera, geldi gaitza den oldarra. Gure baitan datza eguzkia, iluna eta izotza, urratu dezaken argia, urtuko duen bihotza. Bihotza bezain bero zabalik, besoak eta eskuak, gorririk ikus dezagun egia, argiz beterik burua.
Thank you all. Maskagro, peace and blessings to our family, to our friends, to our warriors of justice, our warriors of truth, our warriors of love who are joining us from around the world. My name is Dima Mahmoud. I am blessed to be a family member of a growing culture, and we start this segment. We were hoping our brother Samwel would be joining us live, but as Federico said earlier, life is as unpredictable, and our form of resistance is to be flexible. Our form of resistance is to work with what we have. Brother Samwel sent us a voice note and some photos. He is on pilgrimage. He is from the Maasai people who are currently being threatened, and more than 80,000 are being threatened to be evicted of their land yet again. I ask you, as you receive his message that we will be playing now and queuing, to send light and love to his community who are on a 200 kilometers pilgrimage, tracing and remembering and retracing the steps of their ancestors as they call and claim that land and invoke that right. I thank you for listening. I thank you for being open to this message and to sending this love to Samwel and his family and community as they take this journey and take us on this journey with them.
Nada ndogo nabo nirwagara dol tenakop ana baba bulu ewa halari ngole le wondogi na yi or moronyi ni ganya kop nana ko lo moronyi boyada ranga sai ru gondo ina inter magos lu ya so jonguri moronyi na ro na ko na ringi enebu Wagro Gabon, Nogolaco Sahiba. In Dagara by Giria Gulle, Navangaya. Nara can no sing a young up, Leban.
A radio in Abo. Meguya Handong Subi. Nemeguya Horgisar B. Nemeguya Halara B. A Ralega Vagana, a lava by Langa Arrow in Dara where you may Yoganta.
What a rara musungu no bono, nebu ngana flamingo, nigga Masaai, ngona maso hinikipankai. Niki boro yaga daga mana glolo musungu na ko boro kai wala ngole be bonu ko namoro ko na film kamera niki ru radio mara raga na ko me ko bonu musungu.
Thank you, Josh. As we cue the next sound recording from Samwel, where he is explaining and sharing with us, and hopefully for you to share with the rest of the world about this journey. He sent me the blessing that they give and place before they start this pilgrimage. And if you allow me, I will read it now as Josh pulls up the next cue. This is a loose translation I must invoke. This is a loose translation from the Maa language, which is the indigenous language of the Maasai people. or this group specifically. I am still learning. And it goes. We acknowledge our ancestors who made paths for us to follow.
Nuestros ancestros.
Life, and the unborn future generations who compel us so deeply and to whom we are all ultimately accountable. Similarly, we acknowledge the elders, those who have gone before us and continue to walk among us today, who gave us so much of their lives to prepare the ground for our initiative, and their families who support them and held them up when the weight of the burden must have seemed unbearable. I leave you now with the voice of Samwel and some photos from their journey thus far.
And I come from Maasai community in northern Tanzania. I would like to say resistance has been part of our life all through. Our ancestors, our parents, our brothers, our sisters have been fighting to keep our culture, to keep our environment, to keep our land, and to keep our language from different threats that have been pushing us out of the four things that I've just mentioned. When we resist, the governments and other development partners normally view us that we are not people who want change. We are not people who want to go with time. We are not people who admire the new technology, the new ways of life, the new food, the other people's languages, and also who normally try to attach themselves so deeply in the lands that they live. Recently, we have actually been doing a lot of initiatives to demonstrate our resistance to change, but also our resistance to ensure that we keep our lands, our territory, that we have cultural and traditional connections to it. As Maasai community of East Africa, both Kenya and Tanzania, we've been undergoing a lot of shakings around land rights, and for the last 60 years now, we have lost almost 70% of the lands we used to have. This is from various reasons: investment, conservation, and also even the small towns that are coming up in our communities. People are coming from away and they come and establish small towns in our villages, and later on it becomes one of the land grabbing way. So among the ways that we've been showing our resistance, it's been one, to keep our culture, to practice, to make it life, to ensure that we follow our ancestors' ways of life, we follow their rules, we follow their laws, and to ensure that we have remained with our language, with our dressing, with our livelihood, which is pastoralism, but also to ensuring that we keep ourselves identical from other communities in almost everything. So this way, for us, we don't say development is bad, but any development process that try to temper, try to disturb, try to shake these fundamental ways of living to us is actually not only a threat to our land, but also a threat to our identity. We have fought big companies, big corporations, and recently we've decided to conduct a pilgrimage or alamal, a walking group of elders that walked for 200 kilometers trying to show that solidarity and to mobilize the community to be able to understand the importance of keeping ourselves, of protecting our lands, of protecting our languages, protecting our dressing system, protecting our being, and protecting our identity. And this is a new way that we mobilize internal spirit of togetherness, internal spirit of unity, internal spirit of defending our culture, defending our ways of life, defending our food system, and also telling people about why is it that our parents, our ancestors have fought so hard to ensure that they keep our land. So this pilgrimage has just been coming to a conclusion, and we will share the video with so many other indigenous communities to understand the way we've been able to mobilize our internal strength, our internal unity, and the way and what has actually come out of it. Thank you so much, and we are always together in this struggle.
Well, I think this was a pity not to have the comrades here live, but it was a really interesting testimony, and I'm sure we feel now like even closer to the comrades, to the Maasai comrades in this pilgrimage, just like Dima told us. And I would like to welcome Dima once again, to welcome back her. She is part of the A Growing Culture family, and they are part of the organization of this festival. So I don't know if she is ready to be back with us, because I think she wants to share something with all of you. Dima, are you still there with us?
Yes, I am here. I am here. Again, we continue to be flexible, and miscommunications are inevitable. I just want to confirm that our fantastic interpreters can hear everything clearly. I could receive some messages that they were not. Okay, seems like we are ready to go. Thank you, Berta, Federico. These miscommunications, as we say, they happen for a reason. And it's not just that the tech gremlins or that the technology is not always cooperating with us. So I would like to share some thoughts with you that I have, that have come to me about the importance of remembering and what exactly to remember. I start in invoking my ancestors' tongue, Maskagro. This is Nubian. I am Nubian from the Maasai tribe, from a village called Kabaja, which is not on the map, on Google's map yet. My land is what is today called Sudan. For so long, people of indigenous ancestry, particularly those of us on the continent deemed to be forgotten, have been told and conditioned into believing that we are lacking, powerless, helpless, and voiceless without a white stage or person. For so long, our people have seen our children grow, seeing our entire being, our history, our present, and our future through the eyes of the colonizer. We may not all be ready to admit it, but the majority of our people have accepted victimhood as our space of comfort. In that space, we have embraced silence, not the meditative type. We internalized the attacks on our spirituality and shunned it along with all the keys to the doors and paths connecting us all as one. We have mastered the role of observers to the continued, active, and deliberate erasure of our indigenous heritage, traditions, and languages. Yes, we have perfected complacency. We are complicit. We convinced, and some of us indeed continue to convince ourselves, that to be understood in this world, we must speak the dominant language. But it is not our own, so we cannot speak it in confidence. We stutter. We stutter in calling the continued oppression of our people for what it truly is, genocide. Because that word is not our creation, it is their creation. That word is not our vocabulary, it is their vocabulary. It is not a word we recognize because it is unfathomable to our spirit that a soul would take or claim another in the name of power, or anything else for that matter. It is a vicious cycle, one that can only be broken by stepping into our truth and recognizing that the one language that unites us is energy. And that is a language the system cannot and will not understand. It has no interest to. It has no need to. Why? Because it is a language that holds a mirror to whatever is left from their corroding conscience. It is a language that is spoken by every indigenous tongue, regardless of what it vibrates and the sound it vibrates into the air. That energy, that language of energy and conscience is one that is echoed by Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and Mother Africa. In speaking it, we need not be loud. Indeed, we need not speak at all, because it is a language of action. We need not worry about it reaching an audience, because the winds will carry what we say, do, and feel loud and far. The trees will communicate and root them in the soil. The distressed earth will cry them into the rivers. All the bloodlines of Mother Earth will start boiling. Her heart will beat faster, and she will shake the grounds from under the feet, thrones, and mountains alike. Eruptions are no longer limited to volcanic, because even the volcanoes will echo our call to action to let what's burning inside us out into the world. And from those ashes, we breathe life into our ancestral legacies and rise in a way that would make even the most majestic phoenix question itself. In reclaiming our languages, endangered or otherwise, we don't just reclaim our identity and our heritage, and we need to understand that. We need to remember that. In invoking the tongues of our ancestors, we come in alignment with divine will, because we are in sync with our mothers, our divine mothers. And mothers will move mountains and break ceilings and carve walls and go to battle for the cry of their children. That is the real connection we lose in losing our indigenous ways and languages. We sever that umbilical cord that sustains and nourishes us. We must recognize that it is not coincidental. This is by design. And it is a design that will ultimately fail and crumble because it is its creators and not us who are lacking, powerless, and helpless. So lacking, in fact, they have crossed oceans and invaded lands, violated our mothers and kidnapped our ancestors to build what they could not, to do what they would not, and fill the massive vacuum their disconnection from spirit has left them with. Ask more questions, please. Thank you. I was transported into some land right now saying this. I yield to Berta and Federico to make this next announcement. Thank you so much for listening.
Gracias, Dima. Ha sido muy emocionante.
Thanks, Dima. It's been really moving, really strong. Thank you for your testimony of so much importance. We're gonna keep on in this part of the remember part. And we're gonna see a video now, right? Is that correct? We're gonna put a video and then move on to another testimonies, working on memory and remembering and roots, like Dima says.
Mujeres recolectoras y pescadoras, rizomas de vida. ¿Quién soy yo? Soy Gina Patricia Napalciba. Soy una mujer del mar. Soy una mujer del manglar.
I'm a woman from the sea. I'm Equatorian, from the province of Madrid. A fishing woman who loves her family and nature. A woman who has suffered, but lives life with joy. I'm sentimental, strong, with a strong heart. I love music and I love working. I understand my mistake. I'm respectful and solidary. I'm mother, sister, friend. I recognize myself as a valuable woman. Who am I? I was asked who I am, and I answer, I'm the daughter of two great human beings. From my father, I inherited fishermanship, and from my mother, love for life. They gave me a happy family, and I live together with nature, and I live alongside the river, and I used to be on top of trees. I was separated from my family to go to school, and I dreamt coming back to my family. I married too soon. I dedicate myself to fishing and to my children. And with my two hands, I built my own hand. I founded, alongside other women, and we dared to enter a space only reserved to men. I love myself. I'm independent. I fish freely. I share my experience with other women. I work for better days for the whole fishing sector. I was born in Mexico. I'm Armenia Chavez de Alvarado de la Cruz. This is me. I'm a fisherwoman agriculture, housekeeper, mother. My ancestors took care of the manglar, and I continue it. From the manglar, we take everything, and water is now running short. I'm from Peru. I live in Aguas Verdes, provincia de Sevilla. I love taking care of nature, family, and whoever I humbly can. I'm the one who's worried about abusive fishing and species disappearing. I take care that rules are accomplished. I sow 5 months each year, corn, maracuya, mango, and else. I face droughts, and I know the danger it entails. I'm the one who fights for these towns and try to defend people abandoned by society. This is me, the one who cares about life, and with God's permit, I try to save it.
Hola.
Hello. Hi, do I have the word?
Yes, please.
Federico, no sé si Federico sigue con nosotras o no. Entonces, le voy a dar yo paso a Marianelli, que es la compañera de CECONDEM Ecuador.
She's Marinelli is from the Foro Mundial, from the fishing. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear you. I'm not sure if the rest can hear you.
Sí, podemos escuchar bien a Marinelli.
Yes, we can hear it. Okay. Thank you. All right, maybe it's just me. Okay, Marinelli, if you can, tell us a bit about what you do at your organization. And after that, we're gonna take a short break if anyone needs to take a break. So please, yeah, I'm gonna start sharing with you a poem from a colleague of mine. Sorry, no translation provided here.
Mujer de 100 amores, que amasa el lodo con sus manos para dar de comer todos los días, como lo hace una fiera con sus críos. Aquí estaremos de pie hasta el infinito, mis manglares, mis hijas, mis amigas, porque somos una sola, somos uno. Así me aprendieron los sencillos. Hemos querido compartir.
We wanted to share this process we initiated before with Latin American women. We wish to extend the movement down below. We're from Mexico to Peru, and we want to share what we are talking about today. This love, fisher women, expressed through care, taking care of water, food, and manglares and fisher places. We initiated this process by taking accountants of ourselves as women, women from a territory. Our sisters said that, okay, she's reading a poem.
Que no es más que una respuesta espiritual a la naturaleza que nos rodea, es lo que nos hace ser. Y eso es lo que hay que preservar. Porque si hay algo maravilloso en el mundo, es la diversidad. Y la diversidad...
If there's anything beautiful in the world, it's diversity. And diversity is, or its origin is, where you belong, where you decide to be a human being and be nature. So, based on these thoughts and sentiments from women, we're going to keep building this network of women, rizomas, because we embrace and we get together in coastal maritime places endangered by big corporations, petrol exploitation, and they keep pushing away the communities from there. And against this, we want to extend a hug to women connected in Latin America and the world, and we extend our hand to sustain with love, dreams, hurt, and love too, to stop the destruction of the humanity itself and nature. This is what I wanted to share today. Thank you. Thanks to you for the sentiment of the poem and the sentiment of every single word you shared with us. Thank you. We're going to take that hug, that rhizoma hug you mentioned, and we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back.
We are taking that hug, that rhizomatic hug that Marianelli just sent to all of us, and that's just it. We are going to a short break, so have some water, just move a little bit, and we're back soon. Thank you. See you soon. 5 minutes or so.
Aún la mina no está en la casa.
Okay, welcome again. I hope this break made you good. And okay, so we are in our festival Resistance is Love, and we want to remind ourselves, each other and the world, to recognize the power of our collective. And here we come together as one to share what we have, we know, and we do. Okay, so Fede, when you want to.
Y hola de nuevo. Y bueno, pasamos al segundo bloque de este festival, que es el bloque de la unidad. Y solo decir
We're going
que
to start the second part of the festival, the part of the unity.
Para dividirnos, separarnos. Frente a eso, tenemos que construir.
They want to erase our memory, our conscience, to separate us. And we need, against that, to build unity. It's never been easy. We all have that experience in our organizations with patience, conviction, so that we can develop the trust in the humanity as a nation and take care of the abundance of Mother Nature to which we belong. From this strength and conviction, we need to be able to keep forging unity. If they find us without unity or roots, they're going to keep oppressing us, and we won't be able to build this other world we are looking for. So as a testimony of this way of being, we're gonna give the word to Kristen from WhyHunger, from the Alianza Solidaridad, Resistencia y Esperanza, to speak to us about her experience on building the collective and unity. Kristen, you have the word.
Thank you, Federico. Greetings, beautiful people, comrades and kin. It is a blessing and an honor to be here with you all today. I am privileged to share a little bit about the work of WhyHunger. We've been working alongside the Alliance for Solidarity, Resistance, and Hope, and with our friends at A Growing Culture for several months now. It's amazing to see this manifest, this testimony of solidarity, of hope, of struggle, and of course, love. Resistance for WhyHunger. At WhyHunger, as an NGO operating within the United States, we realize we have a major responsibility. We believe that hunger is solvable. That is our resistance. We know that it's solvable and that food is a nutritious right for all human beings. Intimately tied to that, we understand that we rely on the health and the abundance of Mother Earth. And so we see that not only is food a human right, but that we need to support the struggle in defense of the territories and land. And so we mobilize resources to the grassroots. We believe the front line and the folks that are in struggle with the lived experience have the vision, the dream, the ability, the solutions. And so we work to mobilize those resources directly to the front line, coordinating with social movements, grassroots formations all over the globe. And so very grateful to have this opportunity to work in coordination with all of you. It's beautiful to see a lot of our friends here, and we are wishing you so much abundance. Joy is part of that resistance. And so again, just appreciating the opportunity to celebrate with you today. And do not hesitate to reach out if there is a way we can support you in your struggle. We believe in you, and we are sending prayers and hope for continued strength.
Family and friends, thank you so much, Kristen, for sharing this amazing work. It has been a privilege working with you and learning from you, and we will be seeing a little bit more of the work of WhyHunger soon. Again, we have some changes in the program, and you know what? We're here for some kind of change. How that change comes is a different story. The scheduled presentation that we had from our comrades and family in Colombia, we have not heard confirmation, but we do have Samwel joining us from the pilgrimage, who was able to take time and make the journey to come here and share with you. So if you allow me, yes, Susie, I see your face. It is exactly my face and my heart and my being. And this is the kind of resistance we are here to celebrate. This is exactly the kind of resistance that we are here to celebrate. I will yield to my brother and have him share with all of us a little bit of what he is doing and what their family is doing. Samwel, the floor is yours, my brother. Samwel, if you can hear us, if you are speaking, I see your name, but we can't. Okay, please make sure you are unmuted. Yes, you are there in attire as well. Oh my goodness. There.
Yes.
Yes.
It should be hard. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. I feel like I'm honored from a long journey. I had to travel to here to be able to access the internet and to be able to share with you. And I feel like I'm not late because, as you said, this is really what resistance is. It's all about, we don't have to be bound by time, but we have to be moved by energy and spirit of our ancestors, because we know they worked tirelessly for us to be able to live such a life. And let me come in officially, and I would like to speak a little bit because I'm in a very, very special process of remembering, honoring, and following the steps and try to see the steps of our ancestors, of our elders. So I would like to start by honoring them by speaking a little bit of my mother tongue as a part of decolonizing, you know, everything that we do. So Kaji Samwel na Karola Nagia Nemwa Loitai, Toro Maasai, the Tonkobe Tanzania, na Kajaga Shueling, Tangaragindo Yuang, Mati Yanakop, Wanasho Moito, Amo Egaralungana, Odial Rabal Sabo, Lasargata, Long Kidi, Long Kulupok, Kagore Bogni Jas, Vanegas, Rankarana, Jas, Rankarana, Rasian Dogin Bogan, Tegarana, Mio Kaki Jaran Bolon, Tankaraki, and Clashon, Elation to Iban, much. Neranapaka Chico, bringing Korean like you get intellectual sabo, maybe you know the sabo. Where you know what you're getting in Armana, Kadashi, or the Natmo, Armana, Otigo, Hagati, Nagaja Shuling, and what an atmo and talking Nero Shelling, Never Sinayala, Jokelanagumo, and Bolon, Tenin Ajayu. So, my name's Samuel, and let me translate a little bit of what I've just said. I'm Samuel Nangiria from Tanzania, from Maasai Indigenous community of Tanzania and Kenya. And I'm so much like honored to be able to make it. I thought I couldn't because of the terrain. I had to make sure that everything goes on properly. And I came directly from a very, very sacred, very spiritual process of honoring, remembering, but also trying to visualize the steps, the footsteps of our ancestors, and the way they resisted all the fights from the colonial, from all fronts, they resisted. And I have to say a little bit of this blessing I've just said in Ma, and this is, we acknowledge our ancestors who made path for us to follow, to live a good life. And the reborn generation who compel us so deeply and whom we are ultimately accountable. Similarly, we acknowledge our elders, those who have gone before us and continue to walk among us today, who gave us so much of their lives to prepare the ground for this initiative, and their families who supported them and held them up when the weight of the burden must have seemed unbearable. So this is a blessing. This is a kind of a spirit that's really moving our process, because they've been like saying we resist, but normally when you walk, when you have the engagement, when you speak to the trees, when you speak to wildlife, when you step on a barefooted and feel there's so many of voices from our planet. There's so many of voices. There's so many. And this pilgrimage is Olamal in my language. It's a process where we are trying to remember, we are trying really to show the honoring of what our ancestors did and how they managed, even with no technology, but they could communicate. With no all the privileges of today, there was no transport. They could walk thousands of kilometers. They could sit and they could fast. They could starve because of what they believed and what they stood for. And this is why we are here today. And that honoring for me, so they told me to send you greetings, but send you energy, not only from their hearts, but also from so much of whom we met on the way, not only the youth, not only the women, not only the elders, but also the stone, the water. We could speak to everyone. And there's always this energy that is within our solidarity. So this is the message they asked me to pass here. And they say, you don't have to worry, and you don't have to be you don't have to be desperate. You need to be strong because we are there. Those who have gone before us and those who are with us and the future generation are so much demanding a lot from us, and we have to deliver. So this is a message. And in connection to what is happening in Maasai land, it's not only about resisting, it's not only about climate change, it's not only but colonialism in its whole entirety, in different forms. We are decolonizing and we are standing strong and we are resisting. From the loss of language, from the land grabbing, from replacing our traditional schooling, from religious kind of point of view, we are standing to ensure that our future generation have something to inherit from us. And our planet, our Mother Earth, yes, it has always given us a lot. We have to make sure that we become accountable, we become a friend. We don't have to dominate and manage the planet. The planet is not something to be managed. This is something to be respected. So for us, we've gone through challenges of land grabbing in the name of conservation. And this process, what we are doing now, this pilgrimage, is actually an awakening spirit. It's a spirit that gives us power as the current generation to understand that our parents, our ancestors have fought so hard to ensure that they kept everything we have today, including our culture. And that is always like giving a new direction, a new way of expressing. And instead of complaining, we've decided to showcase, we decided to demonstrate that invisible connection that our governments, corporations, media, and all the elites cannot really understand. And through a process, a documented process like this one, we are unveiling and trying to show in a very, very clear way the connection and why we have been always resisting. We are fighting and losing ourselves because we know we are fighting something that is crucial, not only for us, but for the entire planet. And with that in mind, I know we will share a lot about what is happening in the near future, what we've been able to document, but also incredible information, incredible energy and spirit we've been able to gather in this process of 200 kilometers. And for sure, that's going to be energy to everyone, to every indigenous community across the planet, because we share a lot of commonalities in terms of pains, historical pains. We share a lot of struggles, and now that climate change is actually in the middle, intervening so strongly, indigenous people, we must now lead the way. We are the only hope in this planet. And I think we have to prepare leading the planet in the recovery. We have to prepare leading the whole world in terms of showing the way how you could live a sustainable, harmonious, and mutual respecting life. So this is what I could say. I don't have to take time because I know I'm late, but otherwise, just being here is actually a message to tell you that we are all standing strong. And I think this is the time we need to show our existence. Now that we can meet over such platforms like this and sharing energy and sharing successes, we don't have to complain anymore. We have to stand strong, because if tears could be the solution, then we have shared a lot, and it has not been like we have not been sympathized for that. So solidarity way that can always be something that we scare, those who are doing harm. And I feel like I'm not late because I've actually been resistant to time. Otherwise, if I was to be bound by the time, I shouldn't have joined you. Thank you so much.
Gracias, compañero. Muy interesante, muy emotiva tu
Thank
participación.
you, Samuel. Really interesting and emotional your part. I want to speak about the brothers from Agro who couldn't connect or send their material until now. They are members of La Vía Campesina, and okay, I have participated with them very closely on applying the peace agreement in Colombia from La Vía Campesina. And I wanted to say simply that we need to, when we speak about unity in fight, unity in resistance, we need to honor the social movement and indigenous movement from Colombia, because in one of the hardest contexts in the world, they've been resisting for 70 years and still building unity in a place where dissidents and wanting to remember and fight for justice and love can cost you your life, or being disappeared, or being forced to leave your place. In Colombia, the Clock is an organization composed by 10 other base organizations from different territories and sectors of Colombia. And we're trying to work on the implementation of the peace agreements. And in the last 4 years since the agreement was signed, more than 1,000 leaders have died from the social movement. And this is important because since April, there's been huge use of force, and it's a real hard circumstance for them. And several organizations are trying to start agreements. And we're convinced that the peace agreements will not achieve their goal without the commitment from the unity from the bases. There's a lot to see about this. I encourage you to put your pressure on the countries that are allowing this to happen, because they are causing this to happen. And I put a link to La Vía Campesina in the chat, where you can see our bulletin where we place the numbers and the reality of Colombia right now. And I also have pasted a link for an activity in Colombia that Berta is gonna explain for us now. Thank you very much. And our solidarity for the Berta. Thanks, Federico. I'd like to add that one of the ways that we demonstrate solidarity and support, Federico was speaking about, is precisely this literary festival, which is called Escribo Colombia. We can look it up like that. It's a festival that's been launched from this alliance, which brought us here. We encourage you to write to show our solidarity to our people from Colombia.
Our next participant, Susie Gilbert. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you well. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me okay?
I cannot hear you. I mean, it's always the same. Okay, now I can. It's always the same problem for me.
Thank you. Okay. It's great to be here at this gorgeous festival with you gorgeous people. I'm Susie Gilbert and I'm in England. And I'm here to very briefly speak to you about the case of Julian Assange, which I assume many of you might be familiar with. Julian has been sitting in prison for 2 years in England, in London. at a prison that is known like the British Guantanamo Bay prison. It's called Belmarsh. And I'd just like to start with a little quote from him. And the quote is, "If wars can be started by lies, maybe they can be stopped by the truth." And Julian has been in prison for 2 years and was in the Ecuadorian embassy for 7 years, where he received political asylum for publishing the truth, for publishing in conjunction with the world's leading newspapers, the truth about war crimes and corporate crimes. And I'm sure if you go to the WikiLeaks website, you can find documents that would help any of the causes you are working on. Environmental causes, anti-war, peace causes, you name it, WikiLeaks will have published something. And so I'd like to just briefly tell you what is happening now with his case and why this moment is so key. So, knock on wood, arguably we are in the most positive moment of the last 10 years. Why? Because Julian actually won his legal case. Just to remind you, because it's been a long journey, the United States is trying to extradite Julian Assange from the UK to the US, where they want to prosecute him for espionage and where he would face life in prison in a supermax prison and basically not see a person again. And again, this is really trying to prosecute him for journalism. Now, he won his case at the beginning of January, and the UK denied the US's request to extradite him on the grounds that he would likely not even survive in the US prison system, that he was a suicide risk. The US has now appealed, and in 1 month, at the end of October, there will be the appeal hearing, where the US is arguing, no, our prisons are just fine, let's bring him to the US. And again, there he would face life in prison. So this moment now is critical because he's won his case, but the US is pushing still to appeal. And the reason that this campaign is in such a strong position right now is because there is united support for him from all the leading human rights groups, from all the key social movements in the Global South, from all the press freedom groups and all the leading newspapers, whether it's El País or the New York Times or the Guardian or Der Spiegel. Every leading newspaper has defended Assange and has said if they start with Assange, they can go after any journalist. So the end of October is when the US will be having their appeal hearing. And what I encourage everyone to do is to follow the Don't Extradite website, the Don't Extradite Assange website, which is, I will just put in the chat. And you can see in the action section, you can see the many, many actions that are going to be happening around the world. And I would invite you to continue to get involved. You can get involved by simply amplifying existing actions on your social media. You can follow what's happening in London. There will be many demonstrations. Simply please share those. Keep the momentum going. So you can either amplify things that are happening or start your own. And there are many examples you will see on the Take Action page where you can put out a statement by your trade union or by your organization to put out a statement, to hold a sign and put it on social media, to write a letter to your local newspaper. There are many, many things you can do. And really, the only thing that's going to ensure that we win this case is popular support and resisting with love, so that we are really fighting for the truth here. because I'm not sure how many of you saw an amazing clip that recently went viral about Julian talking about Afghanistan. And I can try and play it for you. I'm not sure if it will work because I'm not very good technically, but all to say we are in a positive moment with this campaign. And I would welcome you to get involved in any small way. This momentum has become big and positive through the actions of many around the world, you know, going up against the US and the UK. And Julian is getting updates from his lawyers and from his wife about what everyone is doing. And it's keeping him, you know, keeping him going. And just to remember, you have the support of all the mainstream papers and press freedom groups and human rights groups. This case is in a good moment. So the next few weeks and the next few months are key. And so I really thank you for this opportunity to speak briefly to you all. And I hope next year, Julian will be able to speak himself out of prison and for him to talk with you all. I will try now to play a little clip. I'm going to put the clip in the chat so you can look at it yourself. You may have seen it on social media, but I believe it's a clip of Julian talking about what was really going on with Afghanistan. And I think he was talking about this in 2011, and it's a very short clip. I'll try and play it. It may work, it may not work, but if it doesn't work, you can watch the clip. You don't have time, so just watch it yourself. And again, please check out Don't Extradite Assange. And thank you for your support, and thank you for this opportunity to speak at this beautiful, beautiful event.
Thank you, Susie. And let's hope, as you just said, for our next event, he will be able to be with us.
That would be amazing.
Let's hope that. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. And please don't forget to look at the chat, because we are putting there all the information about all the struggles that we are sharing today. And they are, as you have seen, they are all asking for support or, you know, for help to amplify the message. So don't forget to have a look on those messages at the chat, so we can get united and in solidarity with all these struggles and support each other. And we would like now to welcome Betty from WhyHunger. Betty, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be sharing space with you today. My name is Betty Furman. Along with Kristen, we're part of the Global Movements program at WhyHunger. So my role today is to share about how, in organizing this festival, we reached out to our networks far and wide, asked for artists and creatives to express what resistance is love means to them. And so I'll be presenting the 10 artists that we selected to produce into prints and posters so that we can raise critical funds for social movements that are defending land, water, and food sovereignty around the world. So a reminder, art is a powerful form of solidarity, and artists have a unique power to build awareness and spark action. No revolution happens without art, right? So here we go. I believe they're gonna have the slides going as I share a bit of the excerpts of the answers to the artists' question, what resistance means to them. And when you go to whyhunger.org/resistance-is-love, you'll see the full answer. So what is resistance to you? Caro, who you're seeing her art here, shared, identifying moments of joy is my form of resistance. Ade from France, resistance to me is fighting for all of us to live with right, sufficient resources and dignity. Snecky from Manchester, UK, to me, resistance means a coming together of people, resources, and motivations. It means recognizing power imbalances and injustices and doing whatever you can do to resist these within your remit in order to fight for a fairer society. Tom Kim from Washington, D.C., United States. Resistance is a difficult path we must choose when there seems no hope for justice. It is frustration turned to action. It is apathy turned to empathy. It's how we can give dignity back to those we love in an unfair system, even when we feel our own voices are only whispers. Matali Sharma from New York. Oh, this is Annie Lucian from the Philippines, excuse me. Resistance is a conscious decision we make every day. Abuse us. For artists, this means join the people of marginalized sectors and resisting the forces that continue to oppress them until those denied safe spaces. Matali Sharma from New York. Resistance to me is the cultivation of care, kinship, and liberation that stretches across time and space. Kathleen Hamilton from Lisbon, Portugal. Resistance to me is rooted in community. It's how we show up for each other every day in a society that tries to separate us in order to exploit our most vulnerable. Resistance is defying the industrial machine of capitalism through using love and compassion as our tools. Joya Burrow from London took this photograph of the Black Roots Collective, who say, resistance is going for it when people tell you no, but when you know what is right, growing food in urban environments, eating food we can trust and that nurtures us, people, community, bringing people of the earth and back to nature. Mahaka Gral from New York, United States. Resistance is resilience. It's the power to say no and be okay about it. Andrew Kadama from Oakland, California, United States. To me, resistance means moving from a place of focused care and love to collectivity, building radical spaces outside of the constraints of expectation, using imagination and dreaming, not as a means of escape, but to ground us. So once again, these are the excerpts from the artists that we got many submissions of, and we're so glad that we're able to have these in posters. And you can see the link in the chat where you can go and support the Alliance by purchasing these posters. And with that, thank you so much for letting me share. Glad to be with you all.
Thank you, Betty. They were all amazing. And I hope you are going all direct to the website and have a look at them again. And I'm afraid we ran out of time to make a small break, but no worries, because we are going straight to our next segment, which is going to be really interesting, just as we are seeing during all the afternoon or morning. And so this segment is called Cultivate, and we want to honor here all those peasants and all those people in general who cultivate the land and who feed us. And we would like to reclaim food sovereignty and the right to access to land. And we would also like to remember that we are part of the land, of nature, of water, and of the forests. So, I mean, let's not forget all these important relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Federico.
Sí, realmente yo creo que en esta...
Well, really, I think this part is where we take conscience and we organize ourselves and do, and what do we do with this unity, this remembrance, to change reality, right? Collective reality, social and spiritual reality too. How do we put this forward, this capacity to love, be solidary, and fight with joy? The most important way to resist and fight back is defending natural resources, earth, water, and peasant seeds, and cultivating food to feed our own people from a sovereignty place that we wish for our people. In all of these phenomena of seeding, the fight for our own land and this element that for big powers is a merchandise and is used to speculate and deny it. For us, for the peasant movement and indigenous movement, is our mother. We take care of her and we defend it. And this movement we're going to present right now, this video from Katarongan, from a Filipino organization that fights back against agricultural reform for social justice, and they are developing a big fight in the last few years. And we are, please, Joanna, if you can present this video. Joanna Fernandez from Katarongan. Oh, Joanna won't be here because of the time difference.
But we will have some videos from them.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, everyone from the Philippines. Am I loud, clear? In behalf of the Rural Corps, which represents the peasants, indigenous peoples, women, and fisher folks here in the Philippines, I would like to share with you our organization. Just a short introduction. Katarungan is a peasant movement that builds democratic rural movements through autonomous organizations. Our struggle for rural democratization is rights-based, whereas rural citizens, we assert our basic democratic rights and seek to establish rural communities with fair and equitable social and production relations. We nurture the integrity of our environment through agroecology and protection, and rehabilitation of ecosystem. Wait, oh my God. There's an alarm. Okay. As such, the struggle to end exploitation and oppression of rural people by pursuing genuine agrarian reform, land and territorial rights, agroecology, and food sovereignty. We build solidarity among people by linking small food producers with consumers, and we struggle against corporate domination and liberalization. Thus, we link up with other progressive forces in society to push for people's alternative to overcome the dominant, exploitative, and unsustainable capitalist system. So today and tomorrow, we are in solidarity in building a new future with everyone here joining us, because we also believe that resistance is love. Thank you, and mabuhay tayong lahat. Thank you. And also, I'd just like to explain the short video, the song that we would like to share with you. Tano is a revolutionary song here in the Philippines that represents a farmer or peasant that was victim by exploitation. So thank you very much.
sa lahat ng magsasaka sa buong mundo. Ang buhay niya ay bukid, kaulayaw bawat sali. Munti niyang pangarap, ito na malilibing. Kailan pa ba makikita ang lupang minana?
There's no provided translation for this song. I'm sorry.
Bawat butil na pinagyaman ay bakit ng kawalan. Sa gitna ng kahirapan may uring na kinabang. Kailan pa ba makikita ang lupang minana? Ay maaari na rin tawagin kanya. Lalaya rin ang lupa, mga magsasaka. Tutulungan sila ng mga manggagawa. Babawin ang lupang ninakaw ng ilan, at ang bunga ng lupa'y bayan na ang naani. Lalaya rin ang lupa, mga magsasaka. Tutulungan sila ng mga manggagawa. Babawin ang lupang ninakaw ng ilan, at ang bunga ng lupa'y bayan na ang naani. Tinatanong ko ngayon sa inyo, o hindi nyo ba naiisip na ang lupang ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong mayroon? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa iyo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Tinatanong ko ngayon sa inyo, o hindi ba naiisip na ang lupang ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong mayroon? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa iyo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kung ikaw ba'y nababahala sa awitin kong ito, ikaw ba'y Panginoong may lupa o may-ari ng Pilipinas? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Ang lupang to'y sa atin, sa iyo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. O hindi ba naiisip na ang lupang ito'y naanan natin sa ating mga kamay? Dapat bawiin, dapat bawiin. Lupang ito'y sa atin, sa iyo at sa kanya. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at Jose. Kay Pedro, Maria, kay Juan at may isang magsasaka, Kano ang pangalan? Lupa niyang sinasaka, kami kayamanan. Minsa'y nagkasakit, kaisa-isang anak, inubos ang konting pera, di pa rin lumalakas. ng utang, 100 piso lang. At ito'y madodoble sa anihan ng bayaran. At kapag tumaya, madodoble na naman. Madodoble ng madodoble hanggang di mabayaran. Tumipas ang ilang anihan, sinaganta ng bagyong nagsidaan, pobreng sitano, nabaon sa utang. Kaya ang lupa niya, ang naging kabayaran, may utang pa sitano, nakikisaka na lang. Ilang pangutulad ni Tano, pinahihirapan. Sila'y marami pa ngayon, nandun sa kabundukan. At itong si Tano ay di ka naglaho nang muli makita, nandun sa kabundukan. Tumama sa sanggatahan.
Thank you.
Muy bueno.
And thank you. We really enjoyed the song. And thank you, Joanna. I didn't know you had been able to be with us. So that made me happy. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, and we have another song.
We are the Sepa Katarungan, members from Sicogon Island, Carles and Iloilo, Philippines, struggling against planetary capitalism. The hands of our peasant brothers and sisters in Colombia are also our hands. We, your brothers and sisters in the Philippines, also nourish the soil through our hands, so that the soil will take care of us and love us back. But the land robbers are taking our island. We are cutting the cord that links our life and soul to nature, that are keeping profit by killing nature and thereby killing us. We now join you in this fight against injustice. We will take back what is plundered. Bawiin ang lupa. Tinatanong ko ngayon sa'yo, hindi mo ba naisip na ang lupang ito'y sa atin at hindi sa lalong
No translation has been provided for English. I'm very sorry for this.
sa'yo at sa kanya, kay Pedro Maya, kay Juan Jose, Pedro Maya, kay Juan Jose. Tanong ko ngayon sa'yo, hindi mo ba naisip na ang lupang ito'y nililang natin sa ating mga kamay? Dapat bawiin
Increíble. Digo que Daniel Biglietti y Víctor Jara estarían
This
muy...
is incredible. Victor Jara and Daniel Biglietti would be really moved by these songs you sung in Filipino in 2 versions, so it's even better. Really, really good. Colombia's there too in those words too.
Perdón, yo pensé que Federico iba a seguir.
I'm sorry, I thought Federico was going. Sorry for the interruption. So will you present this? Yeah. I really like that the Filipino and Colombia connection there in this festival. So we see how we are all united.
To our next participant, which is Sinegugu Sukulu. He comes from South Africa, and he is the deputy chairperson for Sustaining the Wild Coast, an NGO that works to support struggles of indigenous people to Pondoland, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, the tribe to which he belongs. Sinegugu, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's share with us your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. I come from Pondoland. The land of Mampondo is along the east coast in South Africa, in the Eastern Cape province. I think as a way of a background, as a Mampondo, we are indigenous people. And as indigenous people of Mbondoland, we are like many other indigenous people globally, very much connected to the land. Just to give you a little snippet of that, our connection to the land is that when a baby is born, you know that the umbilical cord will drop off after a few days. The mothers, they know better. And then, so that umbilical cord is taken and they will dig a hole inside the heart and is buried onto the ground. And normally when we talk, in order to demonstrate our belonging to the land, so we say our umbilical cord is buried on this land. When we say that, we mean we belong to this land. And we belonging to the land is very significant to us because we don't own the land, but the land owns us. So, and the symbol of bearing your umbilical cord, the land becomes the mother. And because the land is your mother, so the umbilical cord is what connects you to the land. And hence you say, I come from this land. And therefore the land, so we are land, and the land is our mother, and our responsibility is to take care of the land as custodians or as stewards of the land. So as you grow up, the land is the mother who takes care of you. The land feeds you, it clothes you. When you are sick, the land gives you the medicine in the form of herbs. And when you're hungry, the land gives you food in the form of fruits, in roots, in the crops which you grow on the land. And when you die, the land takes you back into it. So therefore, without the land, you are nothing. So when the imperialists and the colonizers came to the continent, like they've done in many continents all over the world, they would take away the land. And when your land is taken, you are nobody. So, and you have no life, you have no integrity, you lose connection, you have no culture, you have no medicine, you have no food, you become a beggar. Because of that, we believe, therefore, you cannot sell the land because the land does not belong to you. You belong to the land. You cannot sell your mother. You cannot put a price tag to the one who gave birth to you. Yours is to protect, honor, cherish, and take care. And as a custodian and as a steward, the land is bigger than the people, because the land could exist and live and thrive without the people, but people could never, never live, thrive, exist, have life without the land. So therefore, I'm giving this to you as a background to say, when we protest and when we show love, first and foremost, the love and the respect and the peace is what we give to the land. The way we collect our medicine, the way we grow our crops, the way we herd our livestock, the way we graze our animals, we have to show respect all the time. I can go on and on. I think that's a topic for another day in terms of how we pay respect to the land in recognition of the fact that land is way, way bigger than us. So one old man in my village, who's late now, was very famous to saying, how do you put a price tag on the land and sell it when you know for sure that this land which you are selling, the money you will have it doesn't matter how much, whether they give you millions or billions, but you will spend the money, and the money will be, you will use it up, but the land will remain there. How do you therefore sell something which is something which which cannot be used up, but you equate it, you put a price tag with something. So therefore the land is not to be sold, because the land is, you cannot sell the one who gives birth to you, the one who looks after you, the one who produces you, and the one who will also take care of you. So therefore, so with that understanding, then you will understand. And my talk today is not about the land, but that's a background. My talk today is about the songs that in order to protest, and I know it's not only about us as a Mampon, it's about the people all over the world, that we compose songs for various reasons in order to record history. Our oral history is told through songs. The events, the historical events that happen within our land, within the people, we compose songs to mark those particular historical events in order to document the history that this once happened on this particular area, and this was once done by the people. So we compose songs. We compose songs to pass messages to those who are listening. And we sing these songs whenever we gather, whenever we come together, in order to pass on a message, in order to, we also compose songs to protest, to voice out that which we are not in favor, that which we are not happy with, and we sing the songs. Even in terms of to challenge, we might be challenging the leadership, we might be challenging the government, we might be challenging our fellow leaders within the immediate environment, but we use music. So music is a very critical component of the culture, of our way of life, even to pass emotions, in order to take the emotions out from internally and bring them out so that people know exactly how we feel. So we compose a song. And some of the songs, when we gather in rituals, in ceremonies, in weddings, in everything, you actually compose a song then, and people learn the song, and the people sing, and then clap, and then they dance. you will dance and people will join you. And last but not least, we compose songs as therapy in order to something which is hurting us, in order to take that, in order to create therapy for ourselves through music. That's why sometimes the songs come with certain instruments. They come with drums, and in order to blend it nicely so that we could hear and we could be able to give ourselves therapy, and we dance what is hurting us and the hardship and the challenge, because through music, no one is going to stop you and say, what do you do? If you have got a problem with the song I sing, then compose your own song and talk to me and talk back to me with your own song so that I could hear how you feel. So a song, even very hurtful and difficult events that we have come across, but through music, we are able to articulate, but also to get rid of the pain, because through the music and dance, we can be happy. And I'm going to ask that a song is played there, and that's the choir from my community, in order to share with you what the song is all about. Please play the song for us.
My name is Sineku Kuzuku.
And I'd like to say, in terms of that one, that's a song, that one, which was created or composed because when people go to work in the city, they don't come back. And the city, we say the city swallows them. So therefore, the song says, when it is spring and it's time to cultivate new crops at the end of winter. So they say, come back, you who have gone to the city and never came back. It's time for you to come back. You have got a reason to come back and put seeds onto the soil. So to protest that it is a bad idea, it's a bad thing, it's a bad behavior for people to go to the city and never come back. So buya, we are linywa, buya, come back. It's time to plow. We are linywa, Chipeli Dala, the one who has been in the city, not even writing letters back, not making calls back home. So it is time to come back. So this song is sung in order to pass the message to those that you must come back. Will you please find another clip, another song to play?
My brother, I think now, as far as the transition goes, because we are running behind on
That's
time.
fine.
I have put the links on the Zoom chat. I hope everyone will be clicking on them, saving them, sharing them, receiving this amazing energy. And I want to thank you very much for all you do. Thank you for invoking our ancestors' tongues. Thank you for reminding us of just how healing music is. And for that, I share with everyone who is with us here that we will be having a healing sound ceremony to close this festival of love. Resistance is love. Brother Senegugu, thank you so much. Please receive our love, our light to your community, to your family. And for those who don't know, it is the South African Heritage Month this September. So stay tuned, follow that website that we dropped earlier, and more respect, more love, more solidarity and resistance. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you.
For those who are still with us, thank you for your patience, for your resistance, for your perseverance against the tech gremlins and the technical difficulties. We continue. I will change my language now to honor and welcome our comrades from Palestine. مساء الخير, السلام عليكم, صباح
Peace
الخير.
be upon you. Good morning or good afternoon.
مشاركينا.
Thanks for everyone. I am Dima Mahmoud, and this is the Resistance is Love Festival. I would like to welcome our brother Muhammad from Uwak in Palestine. They're going to talk about their struggle and their resistance. The story of their love of land, a land that refuses defeat, and a people that does not have defeat in their vocabulary. Thank you, Brother Muhammad. He's going to join us and share his stories in Palestine. From Palestine, we only listen to one side and one side of the story. It is our honor to listen to our brothers from Palestine. Thank you, Dina, for this amazing introduction. 70 years of struggle, and it is still ongoing for the land and on all levels. My intervention is going to cover two parts. First, I'm going to talk about our OWAC and our long struggle against the occupation on the land, in addition to a 6-minute video clip that summarizes our work over the past years, which is a continuation of our 30 years of struggle against the occupation in Uwak. It was established in 1986 in response to some of the practices that were committed by the settlers, including the grabbing of land. Most of the water resources in West Bank and the Gaza Strip are controlled by the occupiers. We lose the sovereignty over our territory as people of Palestine, and as for farmers. Land makes up 60% of the West Bank, all of which is controlled by the occupiers. The farmers are our own target group. We try to strengthen their capabilities by initiating water projects or livestock projects. Or we provide assistance to those who need help. We have agricultural committees, which is an integral component in our work in OWAC. We have agricultural committees working across the board against the occupation. Young people and women as well are the future of our struggle, and we have the cooperatives. We have women cooperatives and farmer cooperatives that fall under occupied land according to Oslo Accords. Just to be clear, Oslo Accords divided the Gaza Strip to Region A, which account for less than 20% of the strip. This falls under the occupying power and the region C. This makes up almost 60% of the West Bank, and again, it falls under the occupation. And it includes 90% of the agricultural land, so they control the water and the land as well. The projects that we initiate for increasing the resistance and resilience of farmers, we reclaim the lands, because whenever they are reclaimed, we fight against settlements. We talk about 600,000 settlers and 200 settlement outposts in Gaza Strip, all of which control 90% of the West Bank land, which are mostly agricultural land. Secondly, we work on agricultural routes. It's important in order to give access to farmers. The unclaimed land, according to the law that was issued by the occupiers, provides that unreclaimed land would be grabbed by the occupiers. That's why we use these agricultural routes in order to give voice to people and access to them. Water resources in the West Bank, 80 to 85% of the water come from groundwater, springs, and the Jordan River all fall under the occupation as well. We try to provide new resources through rationalizing the consumption of water that we can have access to, which is less than 10% of the natural resources which are secured under international law. It is important for us to build the capacities of farmers in workshops, trainings, in legal aspects, because our struggle is mainly about the land. So farmers have to get an understanding of the nature of these issues. And at the heart of it, we try to strengthen the resilience of women cooperatives, because they provide the nucleus of our future families. Now I'm going to talk about the advocacy work that we engage in. We have a number of campaigns that we work on annually. The olive harvesting activity, it's almost a festival in our lands that fall under the occupations. We have volunteers and farmers engaging in these activities. The other festival that we use in order to strengthen our resilience is the International Day for Palestinian Land. And this dates back to 1967, when the occupying power controlled most of the lands. Our people and ancestors lost the land in 1948. Thousands of farmers lost the land. And since then, as Palestinians and farmers, we celebrate that day as a national day to boost our resilience in defense of the land, in addition to international
This is the story of a tired Palestinian farmer, desperately clinging onto whatever joy he can still extract from his land and labor. This is the inspiring story of the Union of Agricultural Work Committees, which has supported him and countless other farmers for over 34 years. It is the bittersweet journey through land, which the Palestinian people love and to which they are deeply attached. Land that has been taken and stolen from them by Israel's occupation and annexation. Agriculture is a pillar of the Palestinian nation and an integral component of the Palestinians' culture, economic, and social life. Since 8000 BC, from the time of the Alt-Re civilization, Palestinians have been pioneers and innovators in agriculture and agricultural production. The ongoing occupation and confiscation of Palestinian land in Area C deprives the Palestinian economy of 63% of their agricultural resources in the West Bank, setting the loss to the Palestinian economy at more than $3 billion annually. In Gaza, more than 46% of the agricultural land is inaccessible. The fishing industry has almost completely collapsed, since fishing off the coast of Gaza has been restricted by Israel to 3 to 6 nautical miles. Around 27% of the Palestinian population, about 1.59 million people, is food insecure. The contribution of agriculture to the Palestinian GDP has dropped from around 19% in the 1980s to 3.5% in 2019. If Palestinians could develop and use the 90,000 hectare in Area C currently inaccessible to them, this would contribute to the Palestinian GDP with $1 billion annually. UAC's establishment in 1986 came in response to the vulnerable socio-economic situation of the Palestinian farmers, resulting from the Israeli occupation and exploitation of their land and water, in order to promote small farmers, steadfastness, and their access to and sovereignty over natural resources. In 2019 alone, UAC succeeded in reaching 21,198 male and female farmers. UAC's activities include land reclamation and rehabilitation, including agricultural roads, leveling, planting, plowing, use of fertilizers and pesticides, water resource development and management, including water harvesting pools, cisterns, rehabilitation of springs, and installation of water pipelines and networks, capacity building, including for food processing, home gardening, poultry breeding, bee breeding, goat breeding, and farm management, humanitarian response to emergencies and disasters, economic empowerment for women and youth, protection of local seeds and reserves. Promotion of renewable energy and environment-friendly techniques, support for marketing of small-scale farmers and women's cooperatives production, provision of legal advice and support in cases involving land confiscation and demolition orders, lobby and advocacy at national and international level on behalf of small-scale farmers, fishermen, and workers. Most recently, UAC has played a leading role in responding to the deterioration in the humanitarian situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. On 23rd of March 2020, UAC delivered the Convoy of Hope and Philanthropy to Bethlehem City, loaded with more than 30 tons of vegetable varieties donated by farmers. UAC's interventions mitigating the consequences of COVID-19 have reached more than 220 rural communities with about 10,000 families who received hygiene kits, food baskets, and about 2,500 home garden and 700,000 vegetable seedlings. Since its establishment, UWAC's achievements include 3,000 kilometers of irrigation pipes installed, over 10,000 hectares of grazing land developed, 20,000 hectares of land reclaimed and rehabilitated, more than 2,000 kilometers of agricultural roads built, more than 2,125,000 square meter retaining walls built, farmers' access to water increased by 300,000 cubic meter, 40 varieties of indigenous local seeds protected, around 2 million trees planted, hundreds of income-generating projects for youth and women, more than 2,000 training hours annually. The success of UWAC's projects have gained it 3 international awards in 2014 and 15, the Food Sovereignty Prize, the Equator Prize, and the Arab Creativity Award in the Economic Creativity. The Union of Agricultural Work Committees, a continuous journey of giving, an approach based on human rights principles.
Pues muchas gracias, Mohammad.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for your testimony and your important words and the resistance you bring for so many years and so admirable, and we try to sustain for you, with all movements involved.
Thank you very much. Freedom to Palestine.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Federico, are you still with us?
Federico?
Federico, ¿estás todavía por ahí?
Federico, you still here with us?
Okay, I don't think so. I think we lost Federico for technical reasons. So, okay. So I take the word. So we are going, we have been like sharing a lot of struggles tonight. And we continue to do that in our next segment. And in the end, we all struggle because we have dreams. So that's why we chose this name for our next segment in this festival. So we would like all of you to focus in this, to dream always, and to dream with others, and especially now in this last part of our festival. And now I change my language to Portuguese too. Para dar as boas-vindas à nossa
to welcome our following
guest coming from Brazil, from the Landless Workers Movement. We have with us Ruth Venceremos. Can you hear me, comrade? Let's go. We cannot lose both Federico and Ruth at the same time. Here, can you hear me? Oh, there you are. Welcome. So, the floor is yours. Hello to all of you present in this festival of resistance. I am Ruth Venceremos. I'm a drag queen and an activist in the Landless Workers Movement. This movement since 40 years ago, has been resisting against all forms of oppression and exploitation. This festival is is happening in the month when we are celebrating the birth of the great people's educator Paulo Freire. Freire has learned and taught us with his traveling through Brazil and the world that we need to be all the time engaged in the struggle for the oppressed, and we never have to lose our faith in human being, to have hope, and in the meaning a collective project that we make happen in the struggle and in constructing and building our dreams. For Paulo Freire, we needed to hope, but hope in the sense of hope not as waiting for something to happen. Waiting is not what we mean. To hope is to go for our dream, is to build for hope and to not give up, to move forward, to get together, to build things differently. And when we recognize ourselves as people, we get organized in the struggle for life, in the struggle for the dream of social justice. And here we are, cultivating values, creating, recreating history, sowing the seeds of hope, sharing bread, sharing love and dreams. Land agrarian reform built by the people and dreams to become true.
O primeiro vídeo.
Now the first video.
Maybe we are having some technical issues. Just wait a little bit. Sorry.
MST 35 views.
Ser sem terra é ser herói, é ser guerreiro. É viver a vida sem ter medo de arriscar. É ser amigo, ser companheiro, ser verdadeiro e não ter medo de enfrentar.
1 million,
É ter
1 million
coragem
people got
pra
access to
lutar.
land. The MST is
Nascemos no
organized in
final de
24
uma
states.
noite escura, junto
We
com milhares.
were born
Nascemos do grito
at the
preso
end
na
of
garganta
a
por
dark
justiça e democracia.
night.
Nascemos do desejo de
Struggle
repartir a terra para produzir e de produzir
justice
para
and the
repartir o
land,
pão.
and sharing the land to produce and to share bread.
Batalhas, desbrava a terra, salta a muralha, planta, colher.
We were born from the desire to share the land, to produce and to share bread. Step by step, we spread throughout the country and we free the land, and the land we touch and food grows from the land we touch. We create schools and men and women who are free.
E não há cercas e nem fronteiras que impeçam o andar digno.
No walls can prevent us from walking forward. Sem terra is the identity we carry with us.
Muitas vezes sofrer é ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa. É ver que a vida passa e você se torna mais um ser na massa.
Mulheres sem terra são
Sem
aquelas
terra women are those who in the dark night can go beyond the walls and singing in the struggle, conspiring and daring to create, build together with other women the end of patriarchy. And this is how, singing the song of life, they scream that they have this hunger, saying that women have hunger for revolution. And we see a legion of working women dancing and weaving life and dream. That's why the revolution is the present time. Women are present. Women hand in hand with their chests open, raising the flag of freedom under the sun, under the storm. Woman of the earth, woman, seed, landless woman, insurgent woman.
Vou cantar para todas as moças, para todas Iabás, para todas elas. Canto hoje uma canção para nós, uma canção para o nascimento, para a fecundação, para a ocupação, para o chão desse nosso longo caminho.
Canto hoje a cantiga da primeira semente que a mão
Today I
humana
sing the
guardou
song
sob
of the
minha
first
pele,
seed
e
a
aguou,
human
e
hand
esperou,
has
e
kept
cultivou,
under
e
my
viu que
skin,
nascia verde e que dava frutos.
planting it
Canto hoje a
so
canção
that it could
cerrada,
grow
escavada,
and give
a
fruit.
canção cratera, areia, deserto.
A canção despida,
The
envenenada,
song,
canção da primeira e
this
maldita
naked song,
seca, da primeira derrubada.
the song of the first
Pelas invenções daqueles que se
tree that was torn down, the song against those who believe they are the owners of the land, against imperialism, people's sovereignty in the Amazonian.
Sou mãe antiga e primeira, mãe do que existe, do que existirá. Como também sou filha de cada uma e cada um.
I am also the daughter of each one of the women who came before. Today I sing a song for the landless women, the song of small lights in the dark night. Women occupying land. Let's sing together for free land, for territory, and for a new home, for choosing the healthy seed, to teach more to those who still do not know, teach to learn the secrets of collective life, and keep offering abundant food, cultivating with love, so that abundance becomes the measure of life. Singing and fighting, we will transform this world into a free world. Daughters, sisters, warriors, our time is ever pregnant, the time of the seed.
Mulheres, desde a sua pele que é minha.
A que se rebela e luta com a palavra e voz desembainhada.
A que se levanta de noite para ver se o filho chora.
A que luta inflamada nas montanhas.
A que trabalha mal paga na cidade.
Vamos, e que ninguém fique no caminho.
Para que esse amor tenha a força dos terremotos.
Os ciclones, os furacões.
E tudo que nos aprisiona exploda, convertido em lixo.
Eu não me vejo na palavra fêmea, alvo de caça, conformada, vítima, vítima. Prefiro queimar uma bagaça de nova estrada, ver cores nas cinzas e a vida reinventar. Mulheres pela vida, semeando a resistência contra a fome e a violência.
Muchas gracias, Ruth, por estos vídeos.
Thanks, Ruth, for these videos. The MST. Oh, they're not over yet. There's yet another video. Okay. I thought it was over already. I'm sorry.
Our project is a collective dream that we dream with our eyes opened. It is a dream of the landless people, of the homeless people, of the schoolless people, those who are denied the right to love and to be who they are. This is the dream of those left behind that do not accept the state of things and recognize themselves and build together a project for human emancipation. Because as Paulo Freire used to say, it is not possible to exist without dreaming, without a utopia, without project, program, curiosity, and wanting to be different. The discourse that pray the death of dreams and utopia are the same that say history is finished, the social classes do no longer exist. We are still here as social classes, we continue with our struggles and interests, and we have different interests, antagonic interests, and we still need to dream. And that's why we continue in the fight and construction of our collective dream, a dream that is fed whenever a red flag is put in the farm, a dream that is fed whenever a child smiles and recognizes itself as a subject of history and the bearer of the future. A dream fed by the rebel women that they are together to change the world. Dream fed by solidarity, by the care and the stewardship of nature and human beings. By walking, we can see horizons, and then we can dream with our eyes open and with poetry that says that tomorrow belongs to us, workers, women and men workers. It is here and now that we will seed life, and little by little we will see blossom in the present the poetry of the future.
Thank you very much, Ruth, and thank you very much to the MST for showing us with your experience for so many years that we have the right to dream and we have the necessity to dream. And even so, the utopia exists and it's possible to build it, and your work is a show of that. And continuing with utopia, we give the word to Fernando of the WAMIP so he can present to us the dreams they're trying to develop in this. Thanks, Fede. Nice to see you again. I'm here from Italy, where we have a WAMIP summit. We've had the word from pastor from Tibet and Ethiopia, and from Raika from Rajasthan. And we're presenting tomorrow a brief about the importance of pastorship against climate change. We're questioned a lot in the media and the public how pastorship contributes to climate change, which is a mistake because they put everything in the same place, the industrial agriculture and the pastorship itself. Sorry for the bad image here, but we want to share in this opportunity how we are celebrating the continuity of our fight, but also the richness of our cultures and the people linked to this activity. The Raramuri people is in the Raramuri Sierra in Chihuahua, Mexico, and from WAMIP, we're having a lot of support from there to develop to try to strengthen the women. It's a complicated area for how the narco and extractivism has developed there, but I'd like to invite Jairo and Max. I hope they can hear me too. Yeah, we're here. Hi, Jairo. Hi, Max. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming over for this digital festival. Jairo and Max, they transitioned the Raramuri communities and seeing their displacement by different extractivist projects and even by tourism itself. They reach the place where they are They didn't want to get rid of their ancestry, their tongue and culture. And in this process of rescuing their own culture, in 2018, they began Rapramuri group. I think Matt is not here, but Jairo, if you want to share a bit before we put something of your music, what led you to create the group? How did you live the experience of your roots, how you live it, and having to live in the city, in the communities in Chihuahua? Jairo, I think your mic is muted. Oh, yeah, sorry, I was talking here. Yeah, don't worry. Bien, our project was born mainly because we wanted to transmit conscience about our roots, how big it is, and we wanted to avoid it from fading. We want people to not forget their mother tongue because it's what gives people their identity. Okay. Okay, if you want, we can share one of your songs here. Please, the organizing team, if we have time, I want to share the Away from Home song, which is really linked to this situation. I'm going to try. Okay, I need. Oh, okay, I have now the ability to share, so. Can you hear the audio? Yeah, we can.
Lejos de casa, extraño mi infancia, no me he cambiado ni la distancia, cuido la esencia de allá mi vivencia, visto mis trajes con toda elegancia, tengo mis sueños y tengo anhelos, busco sustento para los que quiero, nada es en vano y por eso migro, huyo también porque corro peligro, a mí ni verte va ni hippie con que tal si no me rune kawabone, when ni got nata sabe ni got taka, wasoringo ai muni songo laka, when ni imichi kimia palochi da ita rubasi divisi rokoshi, tamo getiara kuhana gawi,
I'm sorry, no translation is possible here. It's a bit fast. I hope you enjoy the music.
Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada, mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada, mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Porque no entienden lo que siento en este bosque de concreto. Busco un futuro de provecho, pero extraño mis cimientos. Lejos de casa todo es difícil, pero lo entiendo, nada es fácil y la distancia me ha vuelto frágil, pero el tiempo me ha hecho ágil. Soy un ser dócil, más un imbécil, de aspecto noble pero versátil. Naturalmente mi pueblo es hábil y ante lo adverso ninguno es débil. De rasgos propios, ningún mestizo, este es mi porte, soy lo que he visto, de piel morena y un alma plena, que mientras danza sola serena, no me envenena, que me señalen, este es mi suelo, este es mi aire y no comprendo el que me aparta en esa avaricia que los invade. Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada, mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Quieren llevárselo todo, dejar mi tierra sin nada, mi familia sufre hambre, vivos que sufren la calma. Porque no entienden lo que siento en este bosque de concreto. Busco un futuro de provecho, pero extraño mis cimientos.
Bueno, impresionante esta pieza.
Really, really impressive. There's a lot of work behind it and lots of references to concrete issues communities are experiencing, like deforestation, rejecting the colonialist expansionist programs. And I'm not sure if Matt is here, but please tell us, how do you think your work impacts communities and the youth?
Como veis que a lo mejor pues si estáis viendo que están surgiendo otras iniciativas, se están relacionando más con el lenguaje, con la lengua.
People are engaging more with the original language. Okay, Matt is having trouble to connect, I think, but okay, we've had a really good response from the community, especially from the youth. They speak to us about what they think of this, and they think it's great that the Raramuri language is included in this kind of music. This is what people really like about this, the youth especially, and they can really feel identified with. So they feel like doing something similar. So we tell them we are doing it because we want them to know they can do whatever inspires them and motivates them. In this case, we wanted to highlight our own culture that maybe due to necessity, work and security, when you have to migrate from the hills towards the cities, looking for a better future and work, and due to, we don't think that because you emigrated, you are not from the hills anymore, not an indigenous person anymore. We want that to be really clear. From there to empower themselves and take care of who they are and highlight this outside of the communities. Okay, thank you. Matt is here too. I see you're in different places of Chihuahua. So Matt, you're gonna share new work with us, Indigenous Blood, your third video. I don't know if Matt wants to tell us something about that. This tribute in solidarity with other indigenous peoples of the world. Hi, good afternoon. Oh, sorry for being late. I had a bit of the technical issue here, but I'm not sure if you can hear us. Yeah, we can. Okay. This song is dedicated to every indigenous peoples of the world, we could say. Whoever belongs to an indigenous group, everyone who feels curious or identified with one of them. With this song, lots of people identify with it because of the words and the message we try to transmit there with our music. And I think this is the message that to every indigenous people of the world, please don't forget who you are, where you come from, and whatever you are, you have to feel proud for being yourself, of who you are, and your heritage. Do not forget about it. I think that would be it. Thank you. Oh. What better than art with rhyme and music to highlight this pride of the indigenous cultures? I'm sending the video now. I'm almost out of battery. I hope we can make it. I can do it too. Okay, I was doing it, but I'll be alert to my battery issue.
Su esencia natural, pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichimoba, en ahí mucho iba, su esencia natural. Aprecia lo que tienes y respeta de donde vienes, agradece con tu fe lo que te regaló Noruam, una cultura majestuosa tan llena de tradiciones. Mira a tu alrededor y tendrás más de 1000 razones para sentirte orgulloso de tu tierra y de tu gente. La cultura vive en ti, por eso es que sigue latente. Vique Mireka, Guaboleta, genial cultura indígena, Tijuta, Moquiti, Huerana, Teanguba, Tasirica, Ki Aguam, Jugara, Mulita, Ichala, Ichanagua, Lico, Chota, Lipenesa, Guatanara, Haplemico, Kawaza, Maquechi, Gana, Tema, Tamobila, Kedalu, Happy, Kuchi, Gobenedima, Haplemique, Veneza, Chico, Titi, Gato, Lago, Maquinana, Mahotesa, Matique, Mileton, Babu. Chabule kitikiri penésima, hueli checo labo que vilena mutna siniga, a que vileni hueliga, iguataca en aluma, cataberam natama kitike chihuesio meluma. Su esencia natural, pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichimoba, en ahí mucho iba, su esencia natural. Emisor con raíces para un mensaje claro que preparo con el arte que redacto mientras narro, porque están en sintonía la razón y el sentimiento para avivar la flama de autorreconocimiento. Todo se globaliza y estamos en pleno ascenso, adaptándonos al mundo y los cambios diversos. Por eso no importa el cómo, importa el por qué lo hacemos. Somos parte del mensaje que se ignora si no vemos. Es por ende que el que quiere lo comprende y se cuestiona, que una cultura se pierde si se avergüenza a la persona, porque no es el lugar ni la zona que se abandona, es lo que está en nosotros lo que amolda y le da forma, porque no es el lugar ni la zona que se abandona, es lo que está en nosotros lo que amolda y le da forma. Pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichimoba, en ahí mucho iba, su esencia natural, pago tu mirada, en ahí Wichimoba, en ahí mucho iba, su esencia natural.
Bueno, muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, not sure if maybe you should drop this and continue with the rest of the colleagues that are going to share stuff. In any case, thank you very much for this. And I hope we have the chance to keep on going with the projects we have, and that we can continue growing this section of the Alliance. Thank you very much to you both for being here. Thank you very much, Fernando, Jairo, and Max. This has been really, really interesting. Seeing the youth, in the art, and in this weaved all together. I think we need to try to show this everywhere, take it everywhere we go, and defend the shepherds and the alliances we have with the indigenous movements and the rural movement that is alternative in a way, so we can all together resist and create. So we're going to be wrapping up. We need to be really alert and resist the manipulation from the system, from the powerful people who, under the argument of possibilities and realities, want us to go away from our dreams. We have to say, as in May 1968, we need to be realistic and ask for the impossible. That's why we are sharing the work with the Movimiento Rural Campesino from Paraguay. Please, let's place a video from our colleague, because he couldn't be here present live, but he sent us this. Thank you.
Hermano campesino, hermano del alma, tú que siembras la paz y el amor en el campo.
This is a beautiful song of unity and solidarity with the people, with the peasants of the world. I hope you can enjoy it. We're going to share the link soon.
Espero verte crecer, hermano. Espero verte sonreír. Este gobierno que te desconoce, este gobierno que te niega tus derechos de cultivar libremente nuestras tierras, tus derechos de cultivar, porque en tus manos están el futuro de esta patria. Espero verte crecer, hermano. Espero verte sonreír. Espero verte crecer, hermano. Espero verte sonreír. Hermano campesino.
Muchas gracias a los compañeros del FIMAC de Paraguay.
Thank you very much to the FIMAC mates from Paraguay. Really nice video. So we keep on weaving nets, memories, and sentiment. Now the festival is going to go on. Oh, sorry, the video cut out. Okay, now we go. Here we go. I was saying about, we're really thankful to all of you. Sorry for the technical issues. Bert and I will be saying goodbye, but the festival goes on. I'm really glad to be here with you, learning so much and feeling so much. And so we keep on resisting with solidarity, fight, joy, and love. Viva, long live our fights. the peasant pastors. So we're gonna keep on dreaming together, fighting to defend our land and our people. Thank you very much. Yeah, it has been.
Language. We would like to really say thank you to all the organizations who brought here tonight all their wisdom, all their struggles, all their strength, and the culture too, because we had really a lot of music, a lot of art. So we are really like happy and impressive. And also we would like to say thank you to all the interpreters who were here tonight with us. And I particularly want to apologize for my English. So I thank you so much for having understood me and translate me. And I would like to finish in Spanish, sorry. Pero eso, quería despedirme como en castellano.
I wanted to say goodbye in Spanish too, because I can express myself better. To thank everyone again from my heart, to everyone who was here, who was a part of this, everyone who registered, organizations, and the people who were organizing the festival. I think between all of us, we have weaved a coat with really strong threads of solidarity, resistance, hope, and love. And I hope we can keep on cultivating memory and cultivating union of our struggles, of our peoples, and that we can still keep on dreaming together for many, many years. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to give the word to Dima, because she's going to introduce you the last part of the festival. Dima?
Thank you, Berta. Thank you, Federico. What fantastic weavers you have been, and what a great fabric you have put together for all of us here, a strong fabric. Before I move forward, I must, we have to hold each other accountable. So I must remind you, you have nothing to apologize about for not speaking English correctly. It is not your language. This is exactly what we are talking about. English is not your language. You have nothing to apologize. The fact that you are speaking it is resistance, and resistance is nothing to apologize for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Family, friends, if you are still here with us, we thank you, we honor you for this last segment of dreaming. Highly, highly underestimated form of resistance. And to close this festival, to close this bringing together of love in all its forms, I am so privileged and so blessed and so honored to be bringing this closing session to you by two of my elders and my sister. Maimuna Yusuf will start with a video from her. I will, unfortunately, she is unable to be present with us in person, but she's here in spirit and through her music, which I hope you will be enjoying. As we queue up the track, as Josh does the fantastic work he does behind the scenes, I will quote her for a quote inspired by Onvelo, and we will put it in the comments. Maimuna says, "Dreams are like gardens. Many of us abandon our gardens long before they harvest season, and they never get a chance to taste the sweet, succulent fruits they yield. No, we are constantly becoming. Be a good gardener to your dreams and watch them bloom." I asked Josh to play the video, The Blooming, by my sister, the Queen, Maimuna Yusuf, also known as Mumu Fresh.
To you from the Lakota people, the Native American Indians of Turtle Island, also known as the United States. what we call the Turtle Island. It tells the story of the American Indian Wars. When the men would go off to battle, the women would wave their shawls at the top of the mountain, waiting for their husbands to return. And if their husbands never returned from battle, they continued to wave their shawls until they became one with the wind. It is a story now that we sing to babies. War becomes child's play in the streets. You know what I mean? Ingbata nawache nawache chicho say Maya Impata nawache chichose impata nawache chichose impata nawache chichose impata nawache what I am, pellet holes and Sprite cans, onion pickles and penny candies was the jam. 95, mommy banked the ice cream man. Yellow lactose is bad for the African. Native American from the Choctaw clan. Alabama Creek, Mississippi, goddamn man. I am the product of a gypsy and a kingpin. I exist somewhere between Egypt and Sing Sing. Born to be a revolutionary since a wee thing. About to rock the mic forever if I got an inkling. Labels pounding on my mama's door. I was 13. She would never sell me short. Purpose I was serving. Raised in Harm City, Baltimore streets burning. Every other building is boarded. The fiends are yearning. Gotta have a plan. Get eating up. My plan was a band. Now this industry we heating up. But they don't understand these go hard young bucks. A cross between Public Enemy and Thelonious Monk. I can serve you up like a fiend with whatever you want. Hip hop, blues, jazz, rock, roll, soul, funk. Hey, impata, chichose, impata, hey, impata, chichose. Apatua yo te wami di mi amo wamo temo jokena, shiwe yo jokena, wamo temo, jokena mo temo, jokena mo temo. Apatua yo te wami di mi amo wamo temo jokena, shiwe yo jokena, wamo temo, jokena mo temo. I would love to take the path of least resistance, but my spirit guide's been telling me they need assistance. I came into this realm to do things a little different. If you love it or you hate it, I'ma stay persistent. I am what I am, effortlessly relevant. Everything there's ever been, I am but a grain of sand. And the Creator's hand, dying just to live again, be again, melt until the omnipotent. I am part of the grave. Just to live again, be again, melt until the omnipotent. I am using
Thank you.
Wow. I am biased because, well, not only is she my sister, she is fantastic. And I call her queen for a reason. And I see someone was asking what language, and I could not be more honored, more blessed to introduce and welcome the Queen Mother, that Queen's mother, Grandmother Wafajea Walks on Water, who will hopefully answer the question on what language and give us a healing, a sound healing ceremony with her beautiful, beautiful voice as we wrap this festival before we go into the closing prayer with Grandmother Rabia, Medicine Woman. Grandmother Walks on Water, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Halito. How are you?
Blessed, blessed.
The language my daughter was singing in is Lakota. It's a Lakota lullaby. And it is a song that comes from the time that the Americans were fighting us, trying to destroy us. And the women would go on top of a hill and wave their shawls for their husbands to come back from war. And if the one husband did not come back, the song says, I will wave my shawl for you until I become the mountain. I will not leave you.
Thank you, Grandmother. Thank you, thank you. Will you please share with us and bless all who are with us today with your wonderful voice, with a song of prayer, with a song of healing, as we celebrate all those who resist.
Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of the earth, help me with my burden. Spirit of the sky, spread my wings so I can fly. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of the ocean, mother my motion. Spirit of the sea, set my soul free. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to myself. Spirit of the wind, carry me home. Spirit of the wind, carry me. Spirit of the wind, carry me home to Yakoki.
Yakoki, Grandmother Yakoki. What a blessing. I would love to ask Josh to welcome Grandmother Rabia, Medicine Woman. These two wonderful, wonderful grandmothers have been my personal guides, grandmothers, and they work together, their alchemy, the healing that they bring together. I would love to introduce to you all Grandmother Rabia, Medicine Woman, as they come together in prayer.
And you know, Grandmother,
always deviates a little bit.
Of course. I'm just going to stay to the side here.
However Mother tells me to go, I'm going in that direction, right? I feel like, because this is the song that I'm always, sing this at Standing Rock, sing this, you have to play Oklahoma Trek, because that says it all. So if you can make space, which Mother will make that space, stick around, folks. Oklahoma Trek with Grandmother Wapajea, Maimuna, and Nabasha Dea. Can you cue that up real quick?
If I can find the track, is it the one that
that Aisa put in?
If Aisa can send it to me while you make the prayer, I will cue it up.
Okay. Whew. Divine Heavenly Mother, great spirit of all life, whose wombs we all are created from, that births the universe and all things. All things are your creation and all things are our relatives and we are related. We know that you make no differences about your children. Some teach us some hard lessons and we learn those and teach them back. There is no plan except for her plan. When we submit, then things become easier for us. If we don't try to project her will with our will, things will happen and flow like the river flows. There are so many examples in nature, Mama, that you put here for us to understand. You teach us every single day with every breath in and every breath out. There are no challenges. There's only perceived hardships that we make. When we're not in solidarity, we are and not in balance. And you see through nature that it will correct itself because it is divinely inspired. Thank you, Mama, for creating all of the things that you have created, the trees, the water, the mountains, the bugs that we're all running from, even the mosquito, as annoying as it is, as some people are on this planet, have their job to do. If they didn't provoke us, we would not rise higher. If they did not challenge us, we would not dig deep into ourselves and know how divinely created we are and that we can do this, we will do this. When we reach back with the seeds and put them in the ground and put our hands in the earth and stop wearing gloves, Mama's just like, you people are a trip. You're wearing gloves to put your hands in the earth while speaking for her. And Mama said, no, I got this. Mother Earth said, I got this, kids, just do you the best way that you can, because I will take care of myself. If I need to bring the winds to change, I will bring those winds to change. If I need to bring the water to cleanse, I will bring that water. If I need to shake the mountains, I'll shake my mountains. If you keep digging into me, I will show you how I take care of myself, take care of you with my blessing, because I have this. And so we need to come out. And I know that my way of praying is not everybody else's praying, but as I get downloaded, I just speak her as she tells me. So I apologize if you're looking for a sermon or a dogma, because you won't get it from here. And Mama Wapajea knows that too. But I have to say that, it is, when I go for a walk and I see how a tree limb is fallen and those dreaded vines that we all curse, it doesn't hit the ground because the vines have held it up and are holding it. And how when a tree falls and another tree holds that tree, so it does not, and supports each other. Even in death, we have support. So we always remember our ancestors and those that came before us, because they're still very much present, very much active. And if you ask them for help, they will give you the help that you seek. Stop counting them out. Stop looking at TV and looking at all of these other things that cloud your mind and interrupt your vibrational field, because these ancestors are on the move and they are waiting for us to kick in. When we go someplace and we have I'll give an example at Standing Rock, when they were in a prayer circle and they were praying, and the goon squads came with their guns to attack them, and they had no guns, they just had their faith and their prayers. What happened? a herd of bison came running down the mountainside, down that hill towards those people with guns who jumped in their trucks and took off when they were praying. And the eagle landed and sat there and watched them and witnessed their prayers and then took to the sky. When we see people in all sorts of situations and nature comes in and sings, the birds come, they don't stop singing. Even when there's a calamity, they come and they warn you. Mother shows you so many ways. There's something going to happen. Pay attention. Let your vibration raise higher. She's lifting you up. Lift with her because she is telling you, sit in nature, make that connection with the earth. Look at Grandmother Moon when she's out in all her glory. It's not just a spectacle to see. It's her saying, come children, my grandchildren, I got you. I got you. I'm trying to help you reach higher, to raise your vibration higher. My sister here who does the womb prayer of all womb prayers, which is what births the universe. I bow to your grace, my sister. Please give us a prayer.
Divine Holy Womb of Creation, we thank you this afternoon to be together on this holy plot of ground. We thank you for the coming age. We thank you for the dissolution of misery and shame and hurt, harmful ways, harmful behavior. We thank you for the evolution of moving out of that. We thank you, Divine Womb of Creation. It is you and you alone that we praise. It is you and you alone that we come from and shall return to. It is you and you alone that we recognize as the sovereign of all that is. We thank you as part of your creation that we are part of your sovereign. We are part of your joy. We are part of your hopes and dreams. We are part of all the things that creation is. We thank you for that. We thank you that we can do nothing without you. We thank you because we have a mighty mother, a mighty womb that we have come from and we are going back to. We trust you for all things. We trust you for the healing of the planet. We trust you for the healing of the two-legged and the four-legged. We trust you for the healing of the creepy crawlers and the flyers. We thank you. We thank you. We trust you for the swimmers, those with fins and those without. We thank you because we know that at some point in your divine grace and order, all will be put well. And so for that we say, Yako Ki Jehoyali.
Yako Ki. And thank you, Mother, for your continued protection of all. It's not that you don't notice those that are in strife, those that are holding the line for the earth and the people. You lift them up, you sent them, they volunteered to come here, and we thank you and we thank them for the grace of coming and being with us. We thank you for every footstep that we make in prayer and solidarity with each other, that in this circle and the ripples and spirals that go out from it, from all this wonderful work that all of these wonderful beings that you have created are doing, that in that light, that their light and all the light that they shine everywhere continue to uplift and support and bring love and guidance to the people so they can reclaim themselves and remember who they truly are. Yako Ki.
Yako Ki. So darlings, I'm going to press on and finish my shopping.
Thank you.
Yes, and safe travels and love to Sequoia.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the speakers, to the presenters, to our wonderful interpreters who have allowed us to transcend language barriers and send this message, all these messages and all these truths from around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our grandmothers for blessing the closing. Thank you to the opening MYSTICA that blessed the opening. Thank you to the organizers. I'm pretty sure I'm missing and forgetting everyone, but in this energy, all I send you is love, 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 love. Remember, resistance is love. Keep loving, keep being, keep resisting, keep remembering who you are, keep invoking your language, stop apologizing for not speaking a language that is not your own. Remember, remember, and remind the world. resistance is love, however it is you resist. I ask one last thing of you. Find a photo on your phone that represents resistance as love. Share it today. Tag us. Tag A Growing Culture. Tag WhyHunger. Tag MST. Tag La Via Campesina. Tag your warriors of resistance and remind the world, resistance is love.